Chapter 12: Selecting an Organizational Pattern. Of all the aspects of speech-making, the idea of organizational arrangements may seem the most confusing, but selecting and organizing speech points into a pattern is easier and more natural than it might seem. An organizational pattern helps the audience follow the speaker's ideas and link the points together to maximum effect. Studies confirm that the way you organize your ideas affects your audience's understanding of them, so you'll want to make use of a pattern. A good time to select one is after you research the speech and prepare preliminary main points. Speeches make use of at least a dozen different organizational arrangements of main and supporting points. Here, we look at 6 commonly used patterns: chronological, spatial, casual, problem-solving, topical, and narrative. In Chapter 23, you will find 3 additional patterns of organization designed specifically for persuasive speeches: Monroe's motivated sequence, comparative advantage, and refutation. Arranging speech points chronologically. Some topics lend themselves well to the arrangement of main points according to their occurrence and time relative to one another. A chronological pattern, also called a temporal pattern, follows the natural sequential order of the topic under consideration. Topics that describe a series of events in time, such as events leading to the development of a new vaccine, or follow a set of instructions such as steps in installing solar panels. Call out for this pattern. A speech describing the development of World Wide Web, for example, calls for chronological or time-ordered sequences of main points. Here's a thesis statement: that the Internet evolved from a small network designed for military and academic scientists into a vast array of networks used by billions of people around the globe. Main point 1. The Internet was first conceived in 1962 as the R-Planet to promote the sharing of research among scientists in the United States. Main point 2. In the 1980s, a team called TCP/IP, a language that could link networks and the Internet as we know it, was born. Main point 3. At the end of the Cold War, the R-Planet was decommissioned, and the World Wide Web constituted the bulk of Internet traffic. Arranging speech points using spatial pattern. When describing the physical arrangement of a place, a scene, or an object, logic suggests that the main points can be arranged in order by the physical proximity or direction relative to one another. This calls for a spatial pattern. For example, you can select a spatial arrangement when your speech provides the audience with a tour of a particular place. Thesis statement: El Morro National Monument in New Mexico is captivating for its variety of natural and historical landmarks. Main point 1. Visitors first encounter an abundant variety of plant life native to the high country desert. Main point 2. Soon visitors come upon an age-old watering hole that has needed beneath the 200-foot cliffs. Main point 3. Beyond are famous cliff carvings made by hundreds of travelers over the several centuries of exploration in the Southwest. In a speech describing a geothermal heating and cooling company's market growth across regions of the country, a speaker might want to use spatial arrangement as follows. Here's a thesis statement: sales of geothermal systems have grown in every region of the country. Main point 1. Sales are strongest in the eastern zone. Main point 2. Sales are growing at rates of 10% quarterly in the central zone. Main point 3. Sales are up slightly in the mountain zone. Arranging speech points using a causal cause-effect pattern. Some speech topics represent causal cause and effect relationships. Examples include 1. Events leading to higher interest rates, 2. Reasons students drop out of college, and 3. Effects of skipping vaccinations. The main point in a causal cause and effect pattern of arrangement usually takes on the following form: Main point 1 would be the cause, main point 2 would be the effect. Sometimes a topic can be discussed in terms of multiple causes for a single effect, or single cause for multiple effects. Here's an example for multiple causes for a single effect. Reasons students drop out of college. Cause 1, lack of funds. Cause 2, unsatisfactory social life. Cause 3, unsatisfactory academic performance. 4, effect, drop out of college. Single cause for multiple effects. Reasons students drop out of college. Cause, lack of funds. Effect 1, lowered earnings over lifetime. Effect 2, decreased job satisfaction over lifetime. Effect 3, increased stress level over lifetime. Some topics are best understood by presenting listeners with the effects rather than the cause, or before the cause. In a speech on healthcare costs, a student speaker arranges his main points as follows. Here's a thesis statement. In response to rising healthcare costs, large employers are shifting parts of the expense to workers. Main point 1, effect. Workers are now seeing higher copays and deductibles. Main point 2, effect. Raising the amount employees must contribute has restricted employer costs to just 5% this year. Quick tip. Blend organizational patterns. The pattern of your organization for the subpoints can differ from the pattern you select for your main points. Do keep your main point in one pattern. This will be the predominant pattern for the speech. But feel free to use other patterns for subpoints when it makes sense to do so. For instance, for a speech about history of tattooing in the U.S., you may choose a chronological pattern to organize the main points, but use a cause and effect arrangement for some of your subpoints regarding why tattooing is on the rise today. 3. Cause. This is from the previous example. The Affordable Care Act mandates the large employers offers more of their workers' healthcare plans. Cause. Rising healthcare costs has led to more expensive plans at all levels of coverage. Arranging speech points using the problem-solution pattern. The problem-solution pattern organizes main points to demonstrate the nature and significance of a problem, followed by a proposed solution. Most often used in persuasive speeches, the problem-solution pattern can be arranged as simply as 2 main points. The first one could be a problem, define what it is. The second one is a solution, offer a way to overcome the problem. But many problem-solution speeches require more than just 2 points to adequately explain the problem and to substantiate the recommended solution. 1. Here's an example. Main point 1. The nature of the problem, identify its causes and its incidences, etc. Main point 2 would be effects of the problem, explain why it's a problem, for whom, etc. Main point 3. Unsatisfactory solutions, discuss those that have not worked. And main point 4. Proposed solution, explain why it's expected to work. Following is a partial outline of persuasive speech about cyberbullying arranged in a problem-solution format. For more on using problem-solution patterns in persuasive speech, see Chapter 24. Thesis statement. To combat cyberbullying, we need to educate the public about it, report it when it happens, and punish the offenders. Main point 1. Nature of the cyberbullying. A. Types of activities involved. 1. Name-calling, insults. 2. Circulation of embarrassing pictures. 3. Sharing private information. 4. Threats. B. Incidents of bullying. C. Profile of offenders. Main point 2. Effects of cyberbullying on victims. A. Acting out in school. B. Feeling unsafe in school. C. Skipping school. D. Experiencing depression. Main point 3. Unsuccessful attempts at solving cyberbullying. A. Let offenders and victims work it out on their own. B. Ignore the problem, assuming it all will go away. Main point 4. Ways to solve cyberbullying. A. Educate in schools. B. Report incidents to the authorities. C. Suspend or expel offenders. Arranging speech points topically. When each of the main points is a subtopic or category of the speech topic, try the topical pattern, also called categorical pattern. Consider an informative speech about choosing Chicago as a place to establish a career. You plan on emphasizing 3 reasons for choosing Chicago: the strong economic climate of the city, its cultural variety, and accessible public transportation. Since these 3 points are of relatively equal importance, they can be arranged in any order without affecting one another or the speech purpose negatively. For example, thesis statement. Chicago is an excellent place to establish a career. Main point 1. Accessible transportation. Main point 2. Cultural variety. Main point 3. Multiple industries. This is not to say when using a topical arrangement you should arrange the main points without careful consideration. Any number of considerations can factor in your arranging of points, not least of which should be the audience's most immediate needs and interests. Perhaps you have determined that the listener's main concern is the city's multiple industries, followed by an interest in its cultural variety and accessible transportations. Here's a quick tip. Find freedom with topical pattern. Topical arrangements give you the greatest freedom to structure main points according to the way you wish to present your topic. You can approach the topic by dividing it into 2 or more categories. For example, you can lead with your strongest evidence or leave your most compelling points until you near the conclusion. If your topic does not call out for one of the other patterns described in this chapter, be sure to experiment with topical pattern. Arranging speech points using the narrative pattern. Storytelling is often a natural and effective way to get your message across. In the narrative pattern, the speech consists of a story or series of short stories complete with character setting, brief plot, and vivid imagery. In practice, a speech built largely upon a story or series of stories is likely to incorporate elements of other designs. You might organize the main points of the story in an effect cause design, in which you first reveal the outcome of what happened, such as the drunken driving accident, and then describe the events that led up to the accident, the causes. Here's a checklist determining your organizational patterns. Does your speech 1. Describe a series of developments in time or set of actions that occur sequentially? Use the chronological pattern. 2. Describe or explain the physical arrangement of place, a scene, or an object. Use spatial patterns. 3. Explain or demonstrate a topic in terms of its underlying causes or effects. Use the causal pattern. 4. Demonstrate the nature and significance of the problem and justify a proposed solution. Use the problem-solution pattern. 5. Stress natural divisions or categories of a topic in which points can be moved to emphasize audience needs and interests. Use a topical pattern. 6. Convey ideas through a story using character, plot, and settings. Use a narrative pattern, perhaps in combination with another pattern. Whatever the structure, simply telling a story is no guarantee of giving a good speech. Any speech should include a clear thesis, well-organized main points, and effective transition, so be certain to include these elements as you organize the speech.